Very good afternoon, friends, and thank you very much for joining us. My name is Ganesh from HDFC Securities, and the topic for today's discussion is exchange traded funds or ETFs. The digital wave in India is rising. Technology and innovation have now become the key drivers for any business now. So, today we are going to be discussing how we as investors can participate in the digital growth story of the economy. And to do that, we have with us Mr. Samir Desai from Nippon India Mutual Fund, who heads the ETF sales business and business development for Nippon India. Welcome, Samir Bhai. Always a pleasure to have you with us, and it's over to you now.
Yeah, thanks, Ganesh, and good afternoon to all investors on this call. So, as Ganesh said, that we'll be talking about the IT ETF today, the advantages of the IT ETF, and why it makes a lot of sense to have an IT ETF in the overall portfolio basket. So, the importance of the ETFs first, let's, quickly go through that, how ETFs have, really taken hold of portfolio construction. So if we can go to the first slide of the presentation, can we move to the first slide, please? So that gives you a snapshot of the, what is happening on the New York Stock Exchange. And this is a snapshot of a particular day, how ETF volumes are the highest. So if you see the highest traded security ranked number one, it is the S&P 500 ETF, which is the equivalent of our Nifty 50. So it's not, famous companies like Apple, Facebook, Google, Amazon, etc., which have the highest volumes. It is an ETF which has the highest volumes, and this is pretty much happens on a regular basis. All the shaded areas in this slide are ETFs. So that means the investors abroad are moving towards buying ETFs or buying entire indexes via ETFs instead of picking individual stocks and so on and so forth. So if we go to the next slide, it shows the, let's go to slide number 3. It shows the growth of ETF in India. So today you have more than 2 lakh crores of assets under management under ETFs. And this is almost 20% of the equity mutual fund AUM, and this is growing rapidly. Today, all kinds of ETFs spread across asset classes are available to Indian investors, spread across equities, fixed income, commodities. In equities, you can buy, various sectors like the IT, which we will be talking about. You can buy banking and so on and so forth. So portfolio construction or asset allocation using low-cost index ETFs is the way to go in the future, is what this slide is telling us. So let's move on to the next slide, slide number 4. So briefly, the advantages of an ETF. The underlying portfolio is an index, in this case, the Nifty IT index, as we shall see, or you can have the Nifty index, the Nifty Next 50 index. So this eliminates fund manager risk. When you buy an index, fund manager risk and stock specific risk gets eliminated, and you can buy an ETF, which is a diversified index portfolio, real time, like you buy a stock. So it can be bought and sold on the stock exchange like shares. The only difference is, instead of buying an individual company whose risk is concentrated, you are buying a diversified index portfolio. So this is how ETFs can be bought and sold on the stock exchanges through your HDFC Securities broking account, and the delivery of the shares comes in the HDFC Securities demat account. So if we now move on to the IT sector, having understood the advantages of ETFs, let's move on to the next slide of the presentation. So what is the Nifty IT index? Now these are 10 companies, comprising this passive index, which are into IT infrastructure, software training, network infrastructure, software development. All these areas related to information technology are covered in this index. The companies that comprise this index, cover all these important areas, which are giving a fillip to the economy. The present corona pandemic has only highlighted the importance of the information technology sector. Were it not for IT, we wouldn't be having this presentation. There would be no banking, there would be no so many of the economic operations would be handicapped without having the information technology infrastructure. And I think after this pandemic is over, the importance of information technology sector can only go up. So companies that form a part of this index are into everything related to the information technology sector. How are the companies selected? A brief overview is given in this slide. The Nifty 500 stock universe is taken, and Nifty 500 is represents almost all the trading volume on the stock exchanges. So out of that index, 10 companies are selected, which is a part of the Nifty IT index. Those companies should have been trading at least 90% of the time in the last 6 months. They should have a listing history of at least 6 months. It's a free float cap weighted index, exactly like the Nifty index. The index rebalancing is done on a semi-annual basis or half-yearly basis. So this is the brief on the index construction. If we move on to the next slide, let's move on to the next slide. Next slide, move on to the next slide. So this tells you how the ETF is priced. So the current price is about 18 rupees 30 paisa, for example. It is priced at 1,000th of the IT index. So if the IT index value is 18,000, the price of the ETF will be 18 rupees. If the IT index moves up, the ETF will also move up in sync. If the IT index falls, the ETF will also fall in sync. So the ETF movement mimics the index movement. So if we go on to the next slide, let's move on to the next slide. Now, this is a very important slide in terms of explaining the investment rationale. Uh, the basic rationale of portfolio construction, the basic rationale of bringing down the risk of a portfolio is to combine various negatively correlated assets. For example, with equities, if you combine gold, that combination works very well because it is a gold has a negative correlation to equities. So that means if equities are falling, gold's price may rise and vice versa. So negative correlation brings down the overall portfolio risk. So it is very important to combine negatively correlated asset classes into portfolio construction. So in this case, if you see the correlation of the Nifty IT index with the Nifty, then it is a low correlation. It is only 0.56 over the last 1 year, and over the last 3 years, its correlation is 0.29%. So IT index has a very low correlation to that of the Nifty. So in tandem with the Nifty, or as a building block of portfolio construction, this negatively correlated index will work very well if you combine it with, let's say, the Nifty or gold or any other asset class in portfolio construction. I'll give you a very simple example of negative correlation. So you look at the various seasons in a year: summer, winter, autumn, spring. They all have negative correlation. Supposing you had only summer or monsoons throughout the year, that is a positive correlation. So winter has a negative correlation with summer. Okay, it is different. Summer has a negative correlation with monsoons. So various seasons help, in human progress, in cultivation of crops. Exactly the same way negatively correlated asset classes help bring down the overall portfolio risk. So this is one of the most important reasons why the IT index is a very good component of the overall portfolio construction. And if we go to the point 2, which is mentioned, when you buy an index, it eliminates the fund manager risk, it eliminates the stock specific risk. Fund manager risk and stock specific risks are huge risks which may not result in a higher expected return. So buying the index reduces these two important risks in investments. So now if we go on to the next slide, these are the various constituents of the index currently. So all famous companies: Infosys, TCS, Tech Mahindra, Info Edge, and so on and so forth. So currently these companies comprise the IT index. A very, very important point to know here is that IT funds managed by fund managers, Many of them have telecom companies also. So that is, somewhat of a portfolio which is not pure IT. So this is a pure IT portfolio. It's a pure IT exposure. So I think that's a very, very important point to remember. There is no telecom companies. There are no other, companies from the allied fields. So investors can get a pure exposure to IT in this portfolio. So let's move on to the next slide. So this is again the performance of the IT index vis-a-vis the other sector indexes that are available. So for example, the compounded annualized returns, if you go onto the extreme right-hand column, 10 years, the 10 years return, CAGR return of the IT index is 13.5%, which as you can see is higher than most of the other sector indexes. If you see the returns over 5 years, 3 years, it is very, very competitive, and in fact better than most of the other indexes. So this only shows that IT sector is a favorite amongst various professional investors. And as I said earlier, the importance of the IT sector can only go up after the pandemic is over. So let's go to the next slide. Next slide, please. So this is again a graphical representation of the index movement vis-a-vis the Nifty. So over the last, let's say 20 years or so, the IT index has given a return of about 14.5% CAGR, which is higher than the Nifty by about 2.5 percentage points. So rupees 1 lakh invested in the index over so many years has today resulted in about 17 lakh rupees. And if you see the bottom part of the slide, now these are the rolling returns. Rolling returns give you a lot of data points compared to a point-to-point return. So what is a rolling return? Let me give you a simple example. Supposing we take the return from 1st January, let's say 2020 to 1st January 2021, that is one time period. Now, if I take the 2nd January 2020 to 2nd January 2021, 3rd January 2020 to 3rd January 2021. So this is the rolling 1 year time period. So if you see the rolling returns here, again, based on a 1 year time period, the IT index has outperformed the Nifty in almost all time periods. So whether you take 1 year, 3 years rolling return, 10 years, whatever time frame you take, the IT index has done better than the Nifty index. So this is another reason why the IT index is so very important. So if we go on to the next slide. So briefly, I'll just reiterate certain points, although I'm not an IT sector analyst, but certain common sense, points I would like to reiterate. So as we all know that India has moved over the years, over last 2 decades, from low-end support and on-site services that our IT industry used to give almost 20, 25 years back to digital transformation today. So this is the game changer, or this is the evolution of the IT sector. Today we offer entire digital solutions. So this is how the Indian IT sector has evolved. Uh, I would just like to quote one sentence from the latest annual report of TCS from the chairman's message, which is very, very, stark and shows the importance of the IT sector. So I'm just quoting. He says, in many sectors, digital channels have gone from being, secondary, nice to have options, to becoming the primary channels, and in some instances, the only channels. So this is how, the TCS chairman is saying in the latest annual report that from being, of a secondary importance, digital channels today are of primary importance, and in certain cases, the only options. Okay, so this highlights the importance of the technology sector. So strong IT spending in the years ahead, coupled with transformation of the workplaces as we are seeing right now, is going to ensure that the IT sector has a bright future. And if I have to summarize, investors can take very good exposure to the IT sector, to this asset category via the IT ETF. It eliminates fund manager risk, stock specific risk, and this is a low cost method of participating in the IT sector. And as I had said, the last point, the IT index has a low correlation to the Nifty and other indexes. Hence, it is a very good index for portfolio construction. So with this, I end my presentation, and we can now have the Q&A. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you so much, Samir Bhai. I think it was quite an informative, crisp and informative session. So we do have some questions. I'll bounce it off one by one. Okay, so the first one comes here as this. So negative correlation isn't the same as lower correlation. So is lower correlation a measure of negative correlation? Your views on that?
Yeah, so you're right. Low correlation is not exactly negative correlation. The point I'm trying to make is, as the assets, the lower correlation you have, so low to negative, that is better for portfolio construction. So IT need not have a negative correlation, but as we saw that number 0.29 over the last 3 years, as vis-a-vis the Nifty, it is quite low correlated. So that's the point I was trying to make. So gold may have a negative correlation to equities, to the Nifty, but IT has a low correlation.
Great, thank you so much. The next one is coming from Mr. Rajiv. Okay, you did touch upon this. Probably if you can just explain it in brief one more time, the difference between your the CAGR and rolling returns.
So CAGR is your compounded annualized returns. So, one way of showing the returns is a point-to-point return. So from day one to day X, okay? So let's say, the return, the graph that we saw from 1999 to 2020 was the return I, showed you. So it's a point-to-point return. So it's between two dates. Now, rolling return means consecutive returns. So let's take, say, for example, one time period. So when I say 1 year rolling, what it means is, let's say the return from 1st January 2020 to 1st January 2021. 2nd January 2020 to 2nd January 2021 is a second time period, consecutive time period. Third consecutive time period is 3rd January 2020 to 3rd January 2021, and so on and so forth. So this is known as a daily 1 year rolling return. Okay, so we are taking daily frequencies or daily time periods, consecutive time periods, which gives us a lot of data points. So rolling return is a better way of showing the return than a point-to-point return. That's the point I'm trying to make.
Great, thank you so much. The next one comes from Mr. Raj Gopal. What is the basis for stock selection, the weightage part in the IT index?
So it's a cap weighted index like the Nifty. So, the weightages change as the prices of the companies change. Okay. So if higher the price, higher the weightage, lower the price, lower the weightage. So that is how the weightages in the index change. The selection criteria, as we saw in the first slide, the Nifty 500 universe is taken. 10 companies, IT companies are selected from that index. They should have various criteria, like they should be listed for the last 6 months. They should have at least been trading for 90% of the time, and so on and so forth. So these are some of the index selection criteria, which is decided by the index committee, which constructs the index.
Great, thank you so much for this. There's one question from the next one from Mr. Vishal. Based on what you just touched upon, the banking ETF part, so please suggest the best banking ETF also. As you mentioned, one can take exposure in that as well. So I believe Nippon has a banking ETF as well.
Yes. So I think when we say the best ETF, so what are the criteria that we have, that we should know to select the best ETF? It could be any ETF. It's not only banking. So the criteria that one needs to consider is, of course, the expense ratio, which is the annualized cost. Then the tracking error, which tells you how closely the ETF tracks the index. And third, and the most important parameter, is the liquidity or the volume on the exchange. If the ETF is not liquid or it doesn't have a high volume, then it is going to result in a high impact cost. So any ETF you buy, whether it is Nifty or banking or gold, it should have a very, very high volume, and that is a very, very important parameter. So fortunately, most of our ETFs have a very high liquidity, and they have a very high volume because they are some of the oldest and the most well-known ETFs in the industry.
Great, thanks for that. Okay, the next question is from where can we purchase Nippon Nifty IT ETF? I'll take that. This is from Mr. Vinesh. Mr. Vinesh, you can log into your HDFC Securities trading account, and on the top left-hand side, you will find a tab called Products, under which you will find ETFs. Under ETFs, you can type Nippon Nifty IT, and you will get that fund over there, and you can invest in that. Okay. Okay, what is the approximate tracking error from Mr. Rakshit?
So since this ETF was launched just 1.5 months back, we don't have that number currently. Tracking error is published over a period of time because then it's a more meaningful number. So right now, that won't be available. But as the time period goes by, it's only 1.5 months since the launch. So it's a very short period to calculate this. But this will be published in the fact sheet in the due course of time.
Okay. So the next question has come from a couple of clients of ours. So I'll just mention the question. Can you just briefly touch upon the basic difference between a mutual fund and an ETF? And there's also one more question. What are the basic difference between when you say Nippon ETF and Nippon ETF Bs?
Okay. So first is the difference between an ETF and a mutual fund. Now, ETF is also a mutual fund which you can buy at real-time prices during market trading hours. So supposing you want to buy, an ETF at 10:30 a.m. in the morning through your HDFC Securities broking account, you can do so at real-time prices. Let's say if the market falls by 800 points at 10:30 in the morning, you can buy it at the real-time price at that moment. Supposing the market recovers through the day, okay, in the open-ended mutual fund or in the traditional mutual fund scheme, you will get the end of the day pricing or the end of the day NAV. So ETF is a scheme which is listed on the stock exchange, which you can buy and sell real time, exactly like you buy and sell individual stocks. The only difference, as I said earlier, is that here the portfolio is diversified because it is an index. So you're buying a real-time diversified portfolio at real-time prices. That is the basic difference between an ETF and a mutual fund scheme. And I think the other question was, sorry, I forget. Yeah, Bees part. So Bees is the, so what happened was Nippon acquired, Benchmark Asset Management Company, which launched ETFs in India. So I am from the Benchmark AMC. So Benchmark had a brand, Bees, known as Benchmark Exchange Traded Scheme. So that was the brand that Benchmark used. Now, since their brand is very popular, Nippon has retained their brand. So Bees is a Nippon brand, and even if the Bees brand is not there, like the Nippon IT ETF, it is still a Nippon ETF. So if the word Nippon appears, that means it is from the Nippon stable of or the Nippon bouquet of ETFs.
Okay. The next question is, what is the current NAV and can we do an SIP in it, and the treatment of dividends?
So the current price is about 18.20 or 30. You can see it on the exchange. And the SIP into an ETF has to be done through your HDFC Securities broking account. See, in an open-ended or a traditional mutual fund scheme, you do the SIP with the asset management company. In the ETF, you do it through your broking account. So HDFC has a wonderful facility known as the DIY, do-it-yourself SIP facility. I think Ganesh, if you want to elaborate on that, you can talk a bit about that.
Yeah, so do it yourself, like Samir Bhai mentioned, DIY SIP as we call it. Okay, you can structure an SIP on your own for the stock of your choice or the ETF of your choice with a daily or a weekly or a monthly frequency in a similar manner like you would do for an SIP. You can either do it in terms of quantity or you can either do it in terms of price, which is also available in your trading account. You just need to log on to your trading account, and under products you find this DIY SIP in which you can do this do-it-yourself SIP. Okay, the next question is, so do you have a mid-cap mid-cap ETF? Not
Yeah,
IT.
we have a yes. So we have a mid-cap 150 ETF, which tracks the mid-cap 150 index, and mid-cap 150 index is the SEBI definition of mid-caps. So the SEBI definition is that the top 100 stocks, that is Nifty 50 and the Nifty Next 50, constitute the large cap definition as per SEBI. 101st to 250th stock is the mid-cap index as defined by SEBI. So we have an ETF available on that. It was launched early last year, and via that one can take exposure to the entire mid-cap 150 index.
Great. The next one is, can you share the fact sheet? It's not available on Nippon website. So where can one access this? For product note and yeah.
Yeah, okay, so I can send the fact sheet link to Ganesh. It is there
Yeah.
on the website. I can send the exact link. It is there in the download section. So I'll send the link to Ganesh, and you can share it with the investors. And whenever the product note is available, we'll share the product note also.
Okay, great. Okay. So the next one is, how is the price of an ETF generally calculated without getting into too many complex calculations? Briefly, how does one understand the calculation of the pricing in the ETF?
So pricing is usually a factor or a fraction of the index. So as we saw in one of the slides, for example, in the IT index, it is priced at 1,000th of the underlying index. So if the underlying index was, let's say, 18,000 was the value, the price would be 18 rupees. And it would move up and down as the index moved up and down. So likewise, say for example, our Nifty 50 ETF, okay, the pricing is 1/100th of the underlying Nifty. So let's say if the Nifty was 12,000, for example, then the underlying ETF would be priced at 120 rupees. So this is how each ETF is priced as a fraction of the particular index.
Okay, so we will take the last question, couple of questions before we conclude. So it is a little stock specific, this question, but pertaining to IT ETF. It's on Info Edge, which is a part of the IT ETF. So which is more a consumer internet company. So how come it is included in the IT ETF in the index?
No, so I think InfoEdge is first of all the index selection criteria. First of all, the index is constructed by the index committee. Okay, so the asset management company has no say in that. It is exactly like the Nifty index. The index committee has various criteria, which was seen in one of the slides in the presentation. If a company fits into that criteria, then it becomes a part of the index. And this is the exact process which is followed for constructing the Nifty index or any other index.
Great. So I think we'll have to come to the end of this session now. In case of any more questions, dear clients, you can get in touch with your relationship managers. We will have it addressed to the fund management team of Nippon and have it addressed on priority. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you, Samir Bhai, once again for quite an insightful session. And we would keep doing such sessions in the future as well to educate all our clients on ETFs and the various options that are available. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Ganesh, and thank you to all the investors. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks.